Hi, I'm Father Vape. You know, one of the greatest gifts to me that I've had since I've gotten away from those horrible cigarettes and I've learned about vaping electronic cigarettes has been the vaping community. What a wonderful group of people. People that want to give back because they've had the same gift that I've received. And they do all kinds of videos and reviews of products. They do everything they can to advance the technology and the quality of the world. They give us things like Raspberry Mojito e-liquid, which definitely a gift from God there. And one of the things the vaping community does is advocate legally to make sure we continue to have the right to vape, and they entertain us with talk shows on the internet and videos and things. What a wonderful thing. The Vape team, for example, what a great group of guys and gals who work together to make the world a better place for all of us. And part of that team puts on a talk show, an internet talk show called Click Bang. And the host of that is a guy named Russ Wishtart. Now, I really love this guy. I think he's brilliant. I like the way he analyzes products, the industry. I appreciate how hard he's worked to improve the technology, going to Russia to get improvements for us. Just a great guy. I even really like his taste in music, even. But when it comes to politics and religion, well, Russ and I couldn't possibly be more different. Russ isn't too happy with religion, whereas as a priest you can imagine I think different. Now, I do have some hope for Russ, at least when it comes to cell phones. I know he's a member of a quasi-religious cult that worships ancient technology and which has very little use in more modern times, but he seems to be a part of that cult. So I know deep down he's got the possibility of becoming a good believer. At any rate, Russ gets me thinking about, well, if there's no God, no accountability for what you do with your body and all that, does God have a point of view on that sort of thing? And that point's been brought home to me even more by reading about one of those multi-million-dollar baseball players for the Texas Rangers. He's in a real batting slump right now, and he blames it on the fact that he quit chewing tobacco. And the obvious thing would be, why don't you just go back to chewing tobacco? And his answer is, well, no, I can't do that because God has commanded me to give up chewing tobacco. Really? Really? You think God cares about every single thing we put in our mouth? Does God want us to be absolutely healthy? Does God want me to eat nothing but salads? I don't think so. I think life is a gift from God, and like other gifts, the expectation is that you use it. If somebody gives you a pair of sneakers, they don't want you to put them on the shelf. No, they want you to wear them, get them dirty, scuff them up. That honors the gift. And so, when we die, I certainly don't want to die a perfectly healthy corpse. I want the mortician to look at me and say, wow, looks like he lived a long, good life, but his body's a little beat up, it's a little worn out. He enjoyed his life. And I think that's a reasonable expectation, and I can come to that conclusion by looking at a couple things. One is the life of Jesus. Who did Jesus hang around with? It wasn't the most religious, perfect people of the day, which were the Pharisees. Wow, he constantly criticized them. No, who did he hang around with? The people that were broken and battered and bruised, the people that needed healing. He hung around with children, the sick, He hung around with the lowlifes of society at the time, the prostitutes and tax collectors, and the real lowlifes of the day, fishermen. No offense, filled with sorrow. These are the people that Jesus hung with because he wanted to minister to them and know and feel his care and concern. So we have this image of God as a loving parent. And as a loving parent, of course, they have expectations, but they don't expect perfection. God certainly, you might argue, would want us not to smoke cigarettes. But does he mind if we vape? I don't think so. Another way to look at this is the ideal in both the New and the Old Testament about marriage. Clearly, God wants people that are married to stay married. That divorce is a horrible thing, an evil thing, that you don't want divorce. God clearly wants people to stay in marriage. Yet, in both the Old and the New Testaments, there are exceptions. Because God obviously realizes that human beings aren't perfect. They can't always, because of sickness or immaturity or violence or whatever, they can't always stay in marriages. And sometimes divorce is not only necessary, but absolutely the right thing to do. Horrible and as distasteful as it might be. So God recognizes our imperfection as human beings. And because of that, because we can safely say by looking at what Jesus said and did, it's clear that he doesn't really mind all that much if we vape electronic cigarettes. It's like not such a big deal. I don't think he even minds if we chew tobacco. So, as always, we should do good and avoid evil. I have to admonish you to do that. Do good and avoid evil, but certainly, if you want, vape away.